What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to RC Car Garage. As you guys can see, we have the new Kyosho drift car, the Fazer D2 Toyota Trueno AE86. Let's open this box up. Let's see how it looks. So I don't really know much about the drifting in the RC, but I had to get it. I had to get this guy. Let's take the body off and we'll go over that. So in order to take the body off, from what I see, even though I don't own one, it's kind of like the Mini Z. The way that they did the Mini Z. Let's get this off of there. So that's how they kind of did it. In the back here, hopefully you guys will be able to see. In the back right here, right up there, you guys, there's two tabs that you have to press. And the body comes right off, slide it forward, and the body is off. This thing just looks awesome. Now in the body, there's these two posts right there that the body clips into, and as you guys can see, there are light buckets in here, so you'll be able to put light buckets on the back. Now the one thing that I do love about this body is the fact that we got pop-up headlights. Yes, the pop-up headlights are, and you are able to buy a kit to be able to make the pop-up headlights work. Now I tried to get the kit for the supercharger kit. I tried to get the supercharger kit before I got this, so that way I could put the kit on here so the lights would work, but unfortunately they are sold out everywhere. I mean, absolutely everywhere they are sold out. I did get this from hobbyrecreationproducts.com, and that just, guys, that's just sweet looking. I love this thing. Put that to the side. Now onto the chassis. Now again, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the hobby of the RC drift scene, but with this guy, I might be getting into it a little bit more. So this is a 540 brushed motor that they have in here. It is a G22 single stock motor by Kyosho number 70706. And the other thing that I do like about this is the fact that the chassis, you're able to extend it or shorten it up so you can use different bodies on this chassis, which it's awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome, you guys. The suspension is just so soft. Just so soft. There are a lot of things that you can do with this. The Ackerman, you can change a couple things around, so you can do adjustments on here, which is very nice. And they do bring some extra pieces here in this bag where you're able to change out if you want to use a shorty battery, you want to use an extended battery. So there's a lot of things here that you're able to use. So in this bag, you get your binding plug. Here is the things for the batteries in case you want to do a shorty pack or whatnot. I gotta check what this is. Could this be for the... Oh, hey, you guys. I might have to look in the instruction manual because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this might be the kit for the lights. So, wait a minute. So, I think the kit actually comes, I think this car actually comes with the kit, so you can install for the lights, the flip up lights. Oh, where's the manual? That is a game changer. a lot of videos that I have seen, I don't think they mentioned that. Let me double check in the manual here. Let me double check in the manual here. So in this manual, you got a whole bunch of parts. There's a whole bunch of parts that you can put on here. Body posts. No. Wait. Yeah. When install optional LED lights must be purchased separately. No. Okay. So no, you guys. No, that is not the kit. No, actually, I think that is a kit. If you want to make light openable, by installing the optional micro servo, you can open and close the light using the third channel of the transmitter. Remove the light unit. Hold on, you guys. So from what I'm looking on here, there's this bar. There's that bar right here to be able to make the lights function. And it looks to me that this right here is that bar. So it looks to me like that is that bar, as you guys can see right there. That bar right there is this bar where you can make your lights go up and down. That's a game changer. I thought I was going to have to order the supercharger kit to be able to make this work, but it looks like it actually brings a kit to be able to make the lights flip up and down. So the only thing you guys are going to have to order if you guys get this kit is actually going to be the micro servo and the lights to be able to get this thing to work. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome that Kyosho actually sends the kit so you can put the lights functional. That'll be in another video. Alright, you guys, also I just wanted to mention with the binding plug, it actually brings, you guys can see here, right here, so it actually brings two of these little things here with the binding plug. As you guys can see, this one right here, which is a fatter one of the two, this one actually is the screwdriver, so you can adjust the gyro gain and whatnot. So nice little touch that they ended up doing, throwing that in. So let's go back to see what else they had. I am so stoked that they actually sent the kit to be able to make the pop-up headlights work, which actually I might be able to do fairly soon, just for the main fact that here I got an EMAX servo that I was going to use on one of my micro crawlers, but I might end up putting that guy in this guy to make the pop-up headlights work. So that's going to be awesome. You also get a bar for something. You get a bar for something, and you get a whole bunch of other stuff and things. I'm guessing this is servo arms. You got a couple servo arms. You got some shock adjusters in this bag here, and you get some of these. I forget what they're called, but you get some of these to fine-tune those things right there, just so you can fine-tune your suspension. Now, in case you decide that you want to put this on different body on this chassis, they do end up sending you body posts with body clips and these little guys that end up protecting the body, so it's constantly, so the body's not constantly getting damaged by it. You end up getting a couple more of these guys, so they end up sending you a and a couple screws. So they end up sending you a couple things that you're able to do on this chassis. Alright guys, and on the chassis here, as you guys end up seeing, they do have the ESC all the way in the back, which I believe is traditional to the drifting scene, where they put the ESC in the back, so that way you have more weight in the back. And like I was saying earlier, the motor, you're actually able to turn the motor upways, but unfortunately with this body you're not going to be able to do it unless you cut out the back window, which I don't think a lot of people are going to be doing. I don't think a lot of people are going to be cutting up that body just to move the motor over top of the wheels, so you end up getting more weight over top of the rear wheels. The suspension, I'm guessing the suspension is good. From a lot of videos that I've been seeing, they say that suspension feels really good for the drifting. But I'm gonna say yeah, it is. I mean, the suspension feels really nice and plush. I think what they're trying to do with this is when the body, so you can have body roll. So the Trueno, if you guys have seen videos of it drifting and everything, Initial D for instance, there's that body roll as the car is going. As you guys can see, that's a lot of body roll for this guy. And I'm dying to take it out and see how this thing performs. These tires, they are hard plastic tires on here, and they are fully licensed Watanabe wheels on this guy. I have been to my fair share of drifting events, and I gotta tell you, the Trueno is an awesome little drifter. I really like the way this thing is. So let's put a battery on here and see how this thing does. Alright guys, so the battery I am going to be using for this is my Mook 5200 milliamp hour 60C discharge battery for this thing. I think it'll be enough to get this thing going around to wherever it's going to go, wherever I decide that it's going to go. So on the transmitter, of course, you have your throttle trim, you have your steering trim, you have your steering dual rate, throttle EPA, okay, and your reverse. You have a power LED and a low flash. I'm guessing the low flash is to indicate when the batteries are low. You have your 1 channel, 2 channel, and this channel here I believe is a 3rd channel where you can pop up the headlights for this guy. Typical Kyosho remote. On the back here you have your on and off button. So the one thing Kyosho's always done is they have the steering wheel on the transmitter a little offset. As you guys can see here, it is a little offset. It's not straight, so kind of driving one hand is going to be a little bit of a pain, but you want 2 hands when you're drifting in this thing. So let's put some batteries in this guy. Alright, so plugging it in. Of course, it does come with a Dean's battery plug, which that's what I have on my batteries anyway. They're all Dean's batteries. So let's turn the transmitter on so you guys can see. Light is flashing there. Alright, now that's on. Power LED is on. Now turning on this guy, you have the on-off switch. Oh, it is right in here. So that's on. And nothing's happening. Why isn't anything happening? Oh, there we go. And guys, check that out. Look at the steering angle of this thing. That's nuts. So let's check out. So the gyro on this thing is on full max. Now the one thing that I want to see is really the gyro for the throttle. Let's see what that does. So you guys see, alright, so you guys see what that does. It actually slows down the throttle as you're accelerating, which I'm not, again, I've never drifted before, but there's a lot of people that have lowered that so that way it's not affecting the driving on it. So that's one of the things I'm also going to do. I know I have a little flathead in here. So that's one of the things I am also going to do, and we're going to see how that goes. Alright, let's do that again. There we go. Let's just pull it on. I think that was already... Oh, that wasn't on high. Now it's on high. That was on medium. So let's see how it goes again. So as you guys can see, that is a throttle gain on the gyro. Again, I am going to put it on its lowest setting. There we go. And that is what a lot of people want. That's how I'm going to test this guy out and see how it works. Now, I think I already mentioned it, that the body on this, the chassis on this thing is adjustable. You just got to remove a couple screws up top here, and it looks like you have a couple screws on the bottom here that you remove so the chassis will move up and down. Let me turn this guy off right now. So the chassis will end up moving in and out. I believe that you can make this chassis as small as possible to where you can use an MB chassis, an MB body from Tamiya, or the longest body that Kyosho has, which I think is the Charger or the Tundra, you can actually put on here with just adjusting the chassis on this guy. But there's a body that I have that I want to test on this and see how that goes. Alright, so at the moment I can't find that body. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this guy out and see how this guy does. So let's go and give this guy a run.